Already at level 25. Get down to the basics and say, plus skills and plus life.
When? God almighty knows. How about it, y'all? You got Hawg, your Southern Diablo 4 resource. Thanks for stopping by. There's an awful lot of crying. I've been sitting down this week and checking out a lot of these creators and what they're saying, and it's hard to stomach some of this stuff. So I just wanted to take just a few minutes and debunk 5 of the myths that we're hearing about Diablo 4 right now, because I think it's kind of ridiculous. So 5 debunked myths is what I'm going to say. It's a lot of stuff that people are just kind of, I feel like they're pulling it out of their honey hole just to make content about. So the first one I want to talk about is the backtracking. This is a huge, like, WTF for me. Backtracking is in a lot of video games. It's just about been in every damn video game that I've ever played in my entire life. If you forgot something, you weren't paying attention, you had to go back and get it. Diablo 1 was this way. Diablo 2 was this way. Diablo 3 was this way. And so Diablo 4 will be this way. If you left items behind, you had to go get them. If you left a monster behind, didn't clear the dungeon, Den of Evil is a perfect example. How many times, so the main one complaining about this, I guess it was Mr. Llama, the king of Diablo 2. How many times have you played Den of Evil and forgot a monster all the way in the back? And you thought you killed it all, and you had to go all the way to the back of the Den of Evil and kill that one last little demon, that fallen shaman demon, whatever the hell he was called, so that you could unlock that. Okay? So, just a bullshit point. I never once ever heard him complain about backtracking. Ever. Until now. Okay? Diablo 3, let's say you're doing a 150, and your ZDH leaves an orb. How many times that happened to y'all? I'm guilty of it myself, leaving an orb behind. Guess what I had to do? Backtrack and go get the orb. So that's an irrelevant argument. And you're going to say in the comments, well, just because it's been in all the Diablo games doesn't mean that's not a relevant argument. It's not a reason to say that the game is garbage because there's so much backtracking. Pay attention to what you're doing. Look at your quest before you start and check the map. It's not that hard. And if you got to go back, you got to go back. It's literally been in every single Diablo game I've ever played. Next. Alright, so I'm going to show you all the Diablo 4 build calculator. This is just out. The link to this will be in the description so you can start playing around with it. This thing is really awesome. I'm going to show you how not complex this game's going to be. Like, give me a break. These guys are just talking out their ass. Alright, so here's all your skills. Your skill tree that you got to see. Okay? Here's all your aspects. Offensive aspects, defensive aspects, utility aspects, resource aspects, mobility. Okay? Then you have your spirit boons. This is for Druid. Okay? You can pick 3 of these. And then you have your paragons. Holy shit. Look how not complex and simple this game is. Y'all hadn't even seen the Paragon. We played the fucking beta. And we're talking about how shitty the game is. And what pisses me off, and I'm not really mad in these videos, but this irks me a little bit, is every single one of these guys played the closed beta. And y'all know they did. Because y'all watch them on stream and y'all were all talking about they were all playing the closed beta months ago. Well, guess what? They're all under NDA right now. They can't talk about the end game, so they're giving you bullshit to say that the game's not complex when they know good and goddamn well that it is. Look at all of this. They say you can't allocate stats. This is how you allocate stats. So everybody just needs to relax a little bit and look at how complex this is. There's multiple build variations. It's wild. Which this brings me to my next point is the itemization. It sucks. That's what they're all saying. There's 8 uniques for each class. There's 40 legendaries for each class. Well, there's 9 uniques for Barbarian. There's 13 generic unique items that drop. and plus like 20 plus more legendaries that drop for all classes to use. You can extract the aspects off of it. So never before have you ever been able to be this flexible with items. Everyone's talking shit about the itemization, but name a Diablo game where you've been able to actually take off a legendary power and put it on another item. You guys aren't realizing the amount of theory crafting and options and all kind of stuff that this opens up for us. I can't tell you how many times when I was theory crafting my support chicken for Witch Doctor in season 27 of Diablo 3, when all I wanted to do was get like an extra cube slot or something and I could make that build really crazy. Well, I won't need an extra cube slot now because I can actually take off legendary aspects and put them on another item. I can't tell you how many times I just sat in town and stared at a power and said, man, I wish I could put that on this other item that I'm really not needing. You can do that in Diablo 4, but the itemization's too simple. It's too shitty. Like, no. I think a lot of the community just blindly goes along with what these guys say and don't think about what they say for a minute because they think they're just like the kings of the game. Like, that's not true. So just look at it for your own point of view instead of listening to what they're saying, trying to influence the whole community to think this game is trash, so they'll continue to play the old games and keep their viewer base. Also heard a lot about the character balancing. You know, Druid was weak, sucked, slow. Barb was trash, sucked, slow. Y'all I have a big clan. It filled up immediately. I got a pretty decent sized Discord with hundreds and hundreds of people in there. It's a you problem. If you didn't figure out the Barb, if you didn't figure out the Druid, like, I'm not trying to be rude, I'm just being real. You didn't figure it out. I mean, we only had a limited amount of time, and that's fine. I had a nasty Druid, had a guy in my clan hidden for like 30k, 15k crit, like stupid crit on his Barb, like to the point where we didn't really want to run with him because he was killing everything before we could even get up there. We had rogues that were nasty. We had sorcerers that were nasty. We had necromancers that were nasty. You know, obviously, of course, Twisted, this is a shout out to you. We know that necros are the king, but, y'all, we had every single class didn't have a problem. So there's no balancing needed. You can't say that a character needs balancing in Act 1. Nobody remembers. Stop for a second and think. Think about your first experience with Diablo 2 or Diablo 3. Act 1. Was that easy? Was that fun? Most likely not. It was just a touch of the game. You're just getting in there. Like, did you need balancing in Act 1? No, because you're in Act 1. Two of the characters couldn't even get to Act 2 to unlock their little extra powers that they had. We got to remember these things. There's no balancing needed. And what's annoying, like I said in the last point, they know there's no balancing needed. All the people that played the closed beta are on NDA, and they're just sitting back like, hee, we know there's no balancing necessary. Another thing I'm hearing is the crowd control. It's part of the same point here. The crowd control needs fixing. No. If you pull the entire dungeon trying to play this like D3 and you get chain crowd controlled into oblivion on hardcore, that's totally 1000% your fault. That's not the game's fault. There are ways to break CCs. There's CC reduced times and all this built into the calculator here, built into your skills. There's items that reduce it. I guess the lesson is don't pull the whole damn dungeon. It's not Diablo 3. You couldn't even do that in Diablo 3 because you lagged the whole game out. So, you know, that's just a null point. That's, again, a you problem. That's not a game problem. So, lesson learned, don't pull the whole map. There doesn't need to be any modifications done except to your playstyle, is what it sounds like. And the final fifth topic that I'm hearing all over the place is the game's boring, it's repetitive. Again, so my argument is if I clipped the game to Act 1, Diablo 2 Resurrected, Diablo 3, if I clip those all to Act 1 and just give you Act 1 with no end game, no nothing, would you get bored pretty quick? Yes, you would. And so, again, it's a demo. It's a beta. We haven't got to do end game. We hadn't got to do Nightmare Sigils, Hellfire events. We hadn't got to do PvP. We hadn't got to do any of that. None of it. We hadn't got to access Paragons. We haven't got to do any damn thing. So we've got to do a couple strongholds and one world boss. The world bosses spawn every hour in the final game. So you'll have plenty to do. There's not just one world boss. There's tons and tons and tons of dungeons all over the world. They spawn different things. You have to go to town, get the keys, turn them into nightmare dungeons. They'll do different things there. In every other Diablo game, so Diablo 2, what did you do for the end game? Besides Ubers, okay? So a lot of people didn't even play Ubers. You had a Smiter Pally that killed Ubers, okay? What else did you do? You farmed for gear, and you did bail runs with 8 people in a party. And y'all all sat in town, and you waited for a wizard to teleport to the Throne of Destruction and send you a TP, and everybody went in there, and you farmed bail, and you hit escape, and you copied and pasted bail run 7, and you waited in town, and you did it again, and again, and again, and again, and again. If you were the sorceress, all you're doing is teleporting. And if you're the other players, all you're doing is sitting in town and waiting. Or you're farming Mephisto or the pit over and over and over again. Where's the fun in that? These Diablo 2 people that are saying all this stuff, it's laughable, because Diablo 4 or Diablo 2 is the exact same. It's very repetitive over and over. If you are comfortable with sitting there for 20 years playing the same game and killing Mephisto for the 10th zillionth time, then play Diablo 2 and shut up. It's just that simple. If you don't like it, if you want to give this game a 5.5 because you have to backtrack just like you did in every other game, if you have to do this, if you have to do that, that's just like every other Diablo game. If you played the second Diablo game and all you do is kill Mephisto, you get a rush and you kill Mephisto and you kill Baal and you farm the pit and you kill Pendleskin and you kill the Countess and get runes, and some runes you'll never find your whole life. And then you go on D2JSP and you buy them. But no one's talking about that. That's pay to win. No one's talking about that. They'll tear down the fact you get a battle pass, but they'll go to same people go to D2JSP and buy stuff and get the runes they need, because you need Enigma to do anything. It's stupid. Diablo 3, same way. Where's the complexity in the end game in Diablo 3? You run 150s. You do Nephilim Rifts for keys, you run 150s. 150s, 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 150s. That's all you do. So there's multiple things to do here. So I guess in a nutshell, all of this negativity is, like I've said in the past 5 videos, it's to get views. A perfect example is my Rax video where the thumbnail looks like I'm annoyed. Got a lot more views than my Asmongold video where he gave it an 8.5 out of 10. People like controversy, they like negativism, they like to talk about it, and that's what's going to fuel it. And I mark my words right now, in a couple of months, you'll see them come out and talk about how great the end game is, and this is the most badass game they've ever played. But yeah, I'm on a quest, guys, personally, to dispel a lot of this negativism. I can't stand it. The game's badass. It gave me a warm, fuzzy feeling inside, like the other, Diablo 3, Diablo 2 did when I played them. So I just want to try to give you another viewpoint. You can agree or disagree. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. But I just want to try to present a separate opinion that's different than all this negativism, because I feel like some people can get caught up in that and can't see through it. So if y'all need a badass community to run with, the House of Hawg is my Discord. Links in the description there. We ain't mild, we wild over there. Thoroughly invite you to come over and have fun with us. Don't be shy. Diablo 2 Resurrected, Diablo 3, and Diablo 4 players over there, and all kind of content and tools for you to utilize. And if you want to be a Patreon, support the channel, I greatly appreciate that. YouTube makes it kind of hard for us to make any money, especially small creators. And big shout out to my Patreons, Eros and Ava and the Andes. Y'all are kick-ass. Thank you so much. I'm going to sign off here, get to work on some more content for you, especially Diablo 4 stuff. We'll see you next time.